As Becky said, my name's Mary Klaebel. I live a little bit north of Memphis, Tennessee. And in 1998, I was living in rural Louisiana. I found myself suddenly single with a high school education and 2 kids. It was tough. I needed to make money, I needed to support my family, and I wasn't sure how to do it. I also wanted to go to school, particularly for a 4-year degree, but the closest school was at least an hour's drive that offered what I wanted, and that just wasn't feasible with childcare, wear and tear on the car, working, all of those things. So what I opted to do was to get an associate's degree at the local community college, because at the time, an online degree was not an option. The internet was still relatively new, I suppose. I had dial-up at home, which was a big deal. But it felt like I had compromised. I had compromised my dream, and I had settled for what was available, because the options were limited. Fast forward to 2008. I'm working full-time as a paralegal, and I hate it. I was so burnt on the legal field, I was ready to just throw in the towel and run away. I couldn't do that. I still had kids at home. So I start looking into going to school. I'm living in Memphis at this time, so there are 4-year universities available. But I'm working full-time, and what are my options? I have to go to work, I have to leave work, drive to campus, sit in class for 3 hours, leave class in the dark in a somewhat suspect part of town, walk back to my car, get home at, I guess, 10, crash, and start it all over the next day. I really didn't want to do that. I wanted to be home with my family, and I wanted to go to school. Fortunately, the internet had changed a lot. And one of my coworkers happened to be going to school through Kaplan University online. She was getting her bachelor's in paralegal. I wasn't interested in that particularly, but I was definitely interested in the platform. So I asked her a lot of questions. I took a lot of time reviewing the work that she was doing, looking at the interface that the school offered, checking out the different options. Because you hear a lot about diploma mills, you hear a lot about scams, and I was hesitant. So I called Kaplan, talked to them, wonderful, wonderful admissions people. No hard sell, totally accredited, and Kaplan, of course, has a background with SAT prep, GRE prep, and other high-end academic testing. That was a good thing. So I enrolled. I went for my technical writing degree. It was tough. It was a lot tougher than going to a brick-and-mortar school. But I could do my schoolwork in my pajamas. I could stop and go see about my daughter if she needed something, or leave and go to a game, or go to some school event. And that was a flexibility that regular college just doesn't offer. And when you're a working parent, single, married, otherwise, flexibility is everything. Kaplan allowed me everything that I needed to be able to change my life. And even though I was living in the city of Memphis as opposed to living in a rural area, it afforded me all of the things that I wish I had had back in 1998. And I think rural communities stand to benefit a great deal from taking advantage of the options that are available with online education. Whether it's students who really just don't have the ability or the desire to leave their hometowns, they don't want to go to the local party school, or mom and dad don't want them to, or if it's a single mom who wants to do better for her family, but doesn't have the time to go to night classes for 5 years to get a bachelor's degree. She can go online for 2. You can get full financial aid at many of these schools. You can do all of the things that you can do with a brick and mortar school, including honor societies and other groups. but you never have to fight parking. You don't have to buy books because everything is included. The program that I'm in now for my master's degree, I didn't even have to buy my computer. It is part of my tuition. And I can see so many opportunities for families, for kids, for older people, working people, to be able to pursue the dreams that they've put off because the local college doesn't offer the major they want. And of course, it has limitations. I don't want to go see a doctor who got his medical degree online. I want a doctor who was in the classroom doing the work hands-on. And those limitations must be respected. But for most professional degrees, be it paralegal, technical writer, or in my case, an MBA in marketing, you can go and you can pursue that without compromising your lifestyle, without inconveniencing yourself, without adding extra stresses that you really don't need, like wear and tear on your car, and worrying about walking across campus in the dark, or driving an hour away and an hour home when it's just not feasible. So I really hope that more people will take the time to get online and check out the schools, look for accreditations, look for whether they accept federal financial aid. If you can fill out a federal application for student financial assistance to attend this school and get financing, odds are they're a pretty decent school. You know, just do your research, do your legwork, but don't compromise your dreams. This day and age, we don't have to compromise. We can do the things that we've wanted to do and that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we couldn't because our circumstances wouldn't allow us. We can keep our young people in our rural communities and still provide them with all of the educational resources that they would have in the big cities. And that's something that you just can't put a price on. And I'm really grateful that I've been able to experience this. Thank you.